Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Unmasking AI, My Mission to Protect What is Human in a World of Machines, is Joy Buolamwini's accessible, urgent account of how modern artificial intelligence can reproduce and amplify social bias, especially when facial recognition and other automated systems are deployed at scale. Drawing on her experiences as a researcher and founder of the Algorithmic Justice League, Buolamwini traces how seemingly neutral technologies can fail real people, and how those failures often fall hardest on communities already marginalized by race, gender, and power. The book combines personal motivation with a wider investigation of the incentives that drive AI development, the gaps in testing and oversight, and the human consequences of getting. Rather than treating AI ethics as an abstract debate, Buolamwini emphasizes concrete harms, public advocacy, and practical routes to reform. The result is both a warning and a roadmap, a case for insisting that innovation serves human dignity and that society can shape AI through transparency, regulation, and collective action. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, how bias enters AI systems through data, design, and deployment. A central theme of Buolamwini's work is that AI bias is not a mysterious glitch, but an outcome of choices. What data is collected, which labels are used, whose faces or voices are represented, and what goals define success. When training datasets overrepresent certain demographics, models can perform well for the majority while failing for others, yet still be marketed as broadly reliable. The book highlights how this problem is compounded by product design decisions, such as default settings, thresholds for matching, and limited reporting of error rates across groups. Even a model that seems accurate in a lab can become harmful when deployed in messy real-world contexts like policing, hiring, or school monitoring. Buolamwini frames these issues as predictable and preventable, stressing the need to ask who benefits, who bears the risk, and what accountability exists when an algorithm makes a consequential mistake. By linking technical pipelines to social outcomes, she encourages readers to see fairness as a system property that must be intentionally built and continuously verified, not assumed. Secondly, facial recognition as a high-stakes test case for AI accountability. Facial recognition functions in the book as a vivid example of how a powerful technology can move faster than safeguards. Buolamwini examines why face analysis tools became widespread, what institutions find attractive about them, and how errors can translate into serious harm. The risks are not limited to incorrect matches. They include expanded surveillance, chilling effects on speech and assembly, and the normalization of tracking people without meaningful consent. The book also points to the difficulty of challenging these systems once embedded in public or corporate infrastructure, particularly when vendors claim proprietary secrecy or when agencies lack clear rules for auditing performance. Importantly, Buolamwini treats accountability as more than improving accuracy. Even a more accurate system can still be misused or deployed in ways that violate civil liberties. This topic explores how demands for transparency, independent testing, and democratic oversight become essential when AI is applied to identity itself. The broader message is that certain applications deserve stricter scrutiny, limits, or bans, because the cost of failure is borne by human lives and rights. Thirdly, the role of advocacy and public pressure in shaping AI policy. Unmasking AI shows that change does not come only from better algorithms. It often comes from organizing, storytelling, and sustained public engagement. Buolamwini's activism emphasizes translating technical concerns into language that policymakers, journalists, and everyday people can act on. The book illustrates how civil society groups can push companies to pause deployments, update practices, or admit limitations, and how legislative efforts can set boundaries for government use. This topic also underscores the strategic value of coalitions, combining researchers, legal experts, community leaders, and impacted individuals to challenge narratives of inevitability. Instead of accepting that AI progress is unstoppable, Buolamwini presents a model of democratic intervention, demanding audits, requiring impact assessments, clarifying liability, and creating avenues for redress. She also highlights that policy must keep pace with industry incentives that reward speed, scale, and market dominance. Readers are encouraged to see advocacy not as an optional moral add-on, but as a practical force that can redirect technology toward human-centered outcomes. The lesson is empowering. Informed pressure can change corporate behavior and public norms. Fourthly, power, profit, and the myth of neutral technology. A recurring argument in the book is that AI is shaped by power. Buolamwini challenges the comforting idea that algorithms are inherently objective, showing how commercial incentives and institutional priorities can overshadow equity and safety. When companies race to dominate markets, they may ship products before they are adequately tested on diverse populations, or they may frame criticism as anti-innovation rather than as a demand for responsible engineering. The book also addresses how procurement and adoption decisions are made, especially in public sector contexts where communities may have limited input. This topic explores how opacity, intellectual property claims, and complex supply chains can make it hard to identify who is responsible when harms occur. Buolamwini encourages readers to interrogate the full life cycle of AI: who funds it, who owns it, who gets to evaluate it, and who is surveilled or scored by it. By naming the economic and political structures around AI, she broadens ethics beyond individual intentions. The key takeaway is that fairness requires governance, not just goodwill, and that societies must resist narratives that treat technology as destiny rather than as a set of human decisions. Lastly, building a human-centered future safeguards, standards, and moral imagination. Beyond critique, the book argues for a forward-looking approach that protects what is human: dignity, agency, privacy, and equal treatment. Dignity, agency, privacy. Buolamwini points toward practical safeguards such as transparency requirements, independent evaluations, clear documentation of datasets and model limitations, and stronger consent norms for biometric data. She also emphasizes the importance of diverse participation in tech development, not as token representation, but as a way to surface risks that homogeneous teams may overlook. This topic includes the idea that ethical AI is not only about preventing bias, but also about defining where automation should not be used, especially in contexts that demand compassion, due process, or individualized judgment. Buolamwini invites readers to cultivate moral imagination, to envision technologies that serve communities rather than control them, and to design systems that remain accountable to the people they affect. The broader frame is civic. Citizens, workers, and consumers all have leverage through purchasing decisions, institutional policies, and political action. The result is a hopeful stance grounded in responsibility, where innovation is guided by rights, not just capabilities. In conclusion, this book is best suited for readers who want a clear human story behind debates on AI bias and surveillance, students entering tech or policy, professionals building or buying AI tools, journalists covering technology, and anyone concerned about civil rights in a digitized society. It benefits the reader's life by sharpening practical awareness of where automated decisions touch everyday opportunities, from identity verification to public safety. Buolamwini helps readers recognize warning signs, ask better questions about data and accountability, and understand why accuracy alone is not enough when systems can be used to monitor, exclude, or punish. The book is also motivating, showing that public engagement can influence corporate practices and government policy, which encourages readers to move from anxiety to informed action. Compared with similar AI ethics titles, Unmasking AI stands out for its grounded focus on real-world deployment and advocacy, linking technical issues to concrete governance and community impact. It is worth buying because it bridges domains that are often separated: engineering realities, social justice, and policy strategy. The result is a practical, memorable guide to protecting human dignity in an age of machines. If you would like to support Joy Buolamwini, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.